Hello, everybody. This is Real Politics. We are live here on time. Can you believe that, guys? We're here on
Yep.
time. I'm Roman Perez. Here with us today is one of my co-hosts is Myra Gutierrez. How are you doing, Myra?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
And we also have the boss lady, Mari De Leon, with
Great.
us. Hi, Mari. And today our special guest is going to be the city of McAllen Mayor Pro Tem. And we had a debate earlier today, me and Miss Producer, how to pronounce it. I tried to explain to her it's Pro Tem. And it's like, and I told her it stands for Pro Tempore. And she's like,
Yes.
what that? Like, it's Latin. Veronica Whitacre, who's running for mayor, candidate for mayor. Yes, I did, Miss Producer. Yes, I did. She's already complained at me and telling me, no, you didn't. Like, yes, I did. It's okay. It's funny. So we have Veronica Whitacre, who's a mayor pro tem and also a city commissioner on the city commission there. Is it a city commission or a city council? I know every city commission. Okay. Every city is very particular.
They are.
And yeah. So, and she's running for mayor. And I'd like for you to introduce yourself, Ms. Whitacre.
Well,
So, Anna?
first of all, thank you all very, very much for having me here with you all this evening. It's my pleasure to join you, and I'm excited. So thank you. My name is Veronica Whitacre, and I have been in the city government for the last 8 years. I've been a city commissioner for 8 years. I've had 3 elections during that time because the first time that I ran, I took only 2 years of the spot because Jim Darling stepped down as commissioner to run for mayor. And so I've been by his side for the last 8 years. Then I ran another term and I was there for 4 years. And then about 2 years ago in May, I ran for my third term and unopposed, which was so nice.
Yeah,
And so
those are fun.
yeah, very much so, and very inexpensive. And so that was gives me the 8 years that I've been there. Was born and raised here in the city of McAllen, and I have given back to my city by being on very different boards throughout the city of McAllen. I'll just name a few. Starting when I first moved back to McAllen with the McAllen Junior League, Easter Seals, International Museum of Arts and Science, McAllen Boys and Girls Club, McAllen Education Foundation, McAllen Scott Crane Marathon, Leadership McAllen, just to name a few of all of the different boards and that I have been a part of. And of course, as a mom, I have two sons. My oldest son is Joseph. My youngest son is Julian. They're barely 2 years apart. And of course, I was the PTO mom from kinder all the way through high school. You know, I followed them through high school. And I was PTO mom at McAllen High School for 4 years. And I kept saying, y'all can find someone else. They said, no, Miss Whitacre, you're doing just fine. So, but it was all for my kids, and I enjoyed that. I left after I graduated from McAllen High School myself. I went to San Antonio and went to Incarnate Word College at the time, and I received a degree in social work. And then about 2 years later, I went back to school and I received a second degree with elementary education from first grade through eighth grade. I then started teaching in the city of San Antonio. I taught there for a couple of years. I moved on to Dallas, taught school in Dallas. I was brought back to McAllen by my boyfriend at that time, which is now my husband, and we've been together for 35 years. So it gives you an
Wow.
idea. So I
Okay.
taught in the Edinburgh School District, the McAllen School District, and then once my boys were born, I decided that I needed to take time for my kids, and I found a job that I was able to work from 8 to 3, Monday through Friday, and that was in the healthcare. And I was probably in the healthcare world for about 22 years, alongside after with a business. Also worked in the business for 18 of those 22 years in the
Mhm.
healthcare. And then I stepped down and didn't work for a while. And then I've been in nonprofit for the last 6 years. So I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
the big resume, and
I
those are
know
good.
it's
you have,
impressive.
yeah, you have to do when you're running for office. You have to have these big long resumes and things like that. I've been in so many debates and forums, and they just decide, okay, I don't want to hear it. I'm just kidding. No, but it's good. You need to have that. People don't understand it. We need to have that information. It's always good to have it. Being in the healthcare industry, giving you we'll just get in with the big issue of the pandemic. Might as well get into
Yes.
it
Yes.
now. That's weird how these are very flowing. what are your thoughts on the pandemic? What has the city of McAllen been able to do if being mayor, if elected in May, or hopefully there isn't a runoff, and then it stays the city of McAllen money, that there's no runoff, but it probably will be a runoff with that many candidates running. What are your thoughts on how the pandemic should be treated there in McAllen and to benefit the citizens of citizens of McAllen?
Well, we've had some setbacks, and the reason why we've had setbacks is because we've had to have all of our guidelines and all of our rules and regulations for the pandemic. It has to come from the governor, and then the governor then talks to the county judge, and then the county judge then makes the decisions, or we all together make the decisions. But realistically, we follow a lot of the guidelines that Governor Abbott has put into place. Some of the surrounding mayors of our cities really have just said, you know what, I need to take care of my city, and this is what I'm going to do. So in reality, I'm probably the only commissioner that I'll just call our city manager and say, okay, so this mayor said that they're going to do this, this, and this, and this, and that. I think we need to do the same thing, or we need to do something better. This other one was able to, put limitations and guidelines and on restrictions on what time they had to, close down the city by 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. We're not even doing that. And I said, I think we need to be stronger. He says, well, we can't. And I said, well, we will be soon. I said, so,
Yeah.
Because, everyone wants to take care of their own community. And I think that's why we are elected officials, so that we can take care of our own community. And people are able to call us and say, this really worries me. This is where we're at. This is what's going on. And when you get enough input from your own community, then I think you need to make a difference for them. And so I think I appreciate all of what Governor Abbott has done, and I understand that. But every part of the state is different. Every part of even in the Rio Grande Valley, we're different. And y'all know that. You live in Brownsville. It's very different from coming to McAllen to going to Rio Grande City. So we really need to take care of our own community and meet the needs of our own community. So I think it's important that we do, we have respect for everyone, but at the same time, for them, I can pick up the phone and say, okay, this is what's going on in my city. Do you mind if I, move forward in this way, or how do you want me to go about it? I know that I'm going to bump you a little bit, but this is what I think is important for my community, because this is what we have. These are how many cases we have. We don't have enough people, hospitals to beds. We're lacking so many different things. So this is what I need to do. How can we how can we meet? Where can we meet so that we can have an agreement? So that's just from my own point of view, in order to take care of our communities ourselves.
Yeah, and a reminder, everybody, we're here with City Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem Veronica Whitacre, who is running for mayor of the city of McAllen, which is the largest city in Hidalgo County, not as large as Brownsville. I live in Brownsville. Marty lives in Edinburgh, and Myra is in McAllen, so we all have different perspectives. So, guys, if you all have any questions, please share the feed, help us out so that we can be able to ask various questions. Even though you might not live in McAllen, you're affected by McAllen because, again, you're the largest city and you have retail, and I'm sure a lot of people go to the restaurants. So please ask us your questions in the comments. We'd appreciate it. Myra, you want to ask the next question?
Yes, I was listening to your answer regarding the pandemic, and my main question is the effects it's had on the businesses. We see a lot of places, being vacant. I mean, I live right off of 10th Street, so I drive by there almost, every day. And there's a lot of vacancy in the little plazas, and a lot of businesses have closed, a lot of mom and pop shops. And it's going from 75 to 50% occupancy. They're bringing it back down. What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that we should be able to open to help out, the businesses, and with the guidelines, with the mask, the 6 feet, or whatever it has? But I mean, our businesses have suffered long enough.
They have suffered long enough. And I know that a lot of the businesses are online, which has helped tremendously. I'm not sure how many of our locals you can actually, and I did mention that to someone else today. It's unfortunate. And I'll name, for instance, this is an example. If you are going to go to Ann Taylor, you go to Ann Taylor, but you're in McAllen, you're helping some of the McAllen, you're helping the sales tax in McAllen because you're actually going to the local store. But if you're going to buy something from Ann Taylor, you cannot push and ask to buy it directly from the McAllen store. You cannot do that. So basically, you're not then shopping locally. And so that is a disadvantage to us at some point, because we're not locally buying anything from our own city. And so those moms and pops, that we need to figure out, they need to figure out, or we have to have a plan somehow where we need to be creative in order for them to continue to thrive or even have business and to even continue with their own moms and pops. And that is difficult. If our numbers were at the beginning, I think if people had paid attention to stay home for 2 full weeks, do not go anywhere. Maybe, at the beginning of all of this craziness, maybe if we had been a little bit more strict, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in today. But it's been very, very difficult. I'm very, very proud of the stores that when you try to walk in without a mask, they'll turn around, they'll say, no, ma'am, you cannot walk into the store. So I've seen that, I've witnessed that quite some, often. And I think that is the best thing that we can be doing. A lot of the stores also, they are only allowing you in if you go in and only because someone came out. So they are restricting how many people can be in the stores. And I know it's not easy, but when it's all said and done, at the end, the person as a customer who does have that respect for that store because they did wait outside, I think that store, the people will admire that store, respect those store owners from that store because they are following the guidelines and they are caring for their community. So we just have to continue to work together, work side by side, and again, figure out for the mom and pops how we can move forward. Because you're absolutely correct. I drove around the other night and it's like, oh my God, they're gone. Oh my God, they're gone. It's sad for all, the entire universe, because it's not just us. But we, of course, are only concerned with our own community. And we need to, start to brainstorm. We need to find out how we can move in the right direction. And what they need to do maybe in the meantime is have a order online directly to them, or even just call them directly to the store and say, you can drive by and pick up your product. This is what we have. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. These are our products that are on sale today. This is the hotspot for today. Come up with creative ideas in order to create people and invite them to your store, even though you are closed. It's tough. I'm not going to say it's not. It's tough. And of course, a lot of these also have had the opportunity to have PPP money so that they, people, so they could at least, continue somewhat. So there has been opportunity. So it was even the city of McAllen had grants through the chamber. If you were a self-owned store in the community, they were able to give you a $5,000 to $10,000 grant in order for you to, to stay above. So we did give several opportunities for our own community to be able to make it through the pandemic. It's longer than we expected. But again, some of that could be our own fault for not wearing the mask, for not following the guidelines, for not following the rules. And and that's not just McAllen. No, that's worldwide, because we're not the only ones with that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Madi, do you have a question?
Yeah, I think those are very interesting topics, especially for McAllen, who's known to be very diverse in its economies, and how much we focus on, or McAllen focuses on, the trade and the border, people coming in from Mexico and helping our sales tax revenue. But aside from the pandemic, we have other border issues. What is your vision, in seeking the mayoralship for the city of McAllen in combination with the surrounding cities to move the city forward past these challenges that we currently have?
Really, we should be partners. We really should be partners. We should not say, oh, I'm going to be better. No, we really need to work together. We need to collaborate. We need to unify, because we have maybe some magic in McAllen that works. And if it works for us, and okay, we can't share. No, we need to be able to at least work together, because if you put us all together, we're over a million people just in the area of Mission, McAllen, Edinburgh, Far, and all you have to do really from where I live, if I cross the street, I'm in Far. So, it's and in my own personal opinion, it's somewhat selfish, but at the same time, we're helping each other, because we're helping our community. Because you might be from Edinburgh, you work in McAllen, And so you're here because we've employed you, but you're going to go back. And at many times you're not going to go to HEB in McAllen. You're going to go to HEB in Edinburgh, or you're going to go to a mom and pop store in Edinburgh. So if we help each other and we sustain each other, then you know what? Our community is only going to get stronger and only get better.
Yeah, this might
That
sound
makes
like oh, absolutely. This might sound like a softball question, but when I ran for city commissioner, everybody would ask me, well, what your colors are going to be? My colors when I ran was green and white. And people were like, why green and white? It's like, well, green will show up better for your eyes for, if you, let's say you're believe in evolution or whatever, the color, the green shows up quicker. That's why green signs. So I'm curious what your color scheme is and why you chose it. It's an odd question, but I'm curious.
It's okay. Red is my favorite color and has been all of my life.
Okay.
And so red is my number one color, and this year I did blend it in with black. So if you'll look at my signs and look at all of my my stuff for my campaign, it's pretty much red, black, and white, and it really stands out. So. And then, no offense, girls, or girls, you're on my side. I'm sure black makes us look thinner.
Oh yeah.
It does. Well, I'm just because I like the color red. We're using the color red scheme for our page, and we actually have a little blue background. So it's like I'm curious what that I've been meaning to ask that of candidates, and I just have not. So you're the first person I'm asking that question.
Well, let me show you my shirt so you all can give me your opinion.
All right, sure.
Right here. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay. Guys, and please feel free to I will get into your questions next. I'd like to get Madi and Myra an opportunity to ask their questions. And I would really appreciate you all sharing the live stream and help us share the page. Oh, wow. You really did go for the whole black. It is very slimming. Very nice.
It is nice.
It's very nice. Like, and you'll be giving, I had asked you, okay, oh, wait, she has her earplugs.
Did you see it?
Yes, very nice. Yeah, they're really cool. Shirt. Very sharp.
So, and my motto has always been keep McAllen moving.
Moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See the M, but okay. It's I like the M sign. It's almost the same. I don't live in McAllen, but I see those little M's over and on the sign. So it's good. Good job.
Exactly right. Yes.
So if you do us a favor, share the feed. Help us out with your questions. We'll ask the first question that I've seen on the screen. That would be great. Ms. Producer, rumors are Governor Abbott may be placing regulations down here again because of increasing cases of COVID here in the Valley. Is there truth to this rumor?
Yes, I saw that on the news today. I didn't stop and listen, but I did see it. So our numbers have really not changed. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, our daily cases are 300, 317, 305. And actually, I can even tell you today's. It's unfortunate, I guess, is today's, just so you have an idea. You would think I'd know how to. 322.
322.
Could that be because we're in flu season and it's part of the flu?
Well, they're not sure. No, I think they're going back and forth with, okay, after Christmas, then New Year's, and then, all the different holidays that people still, we're gathering. And so right now we're probably just seeing these numbers from Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. There's about a 2-week delay essentially.
So it is flu season. So there is like, shouldn't the numbers even be higher than that, but still they maintain it?
Yes. And I know that there's a lot of, there's no beds. I do know that there's no beds again. So we're having trouble once again, but we just have to get through it one more time.
Yeah. And do you this might sound like a question, but have you had anybody, how personal has the pandemic gotten to you as a commissioner? How many people, anybody in your family, immediate family, and has that changed your mindset on how you believe how serious the virus is or not?
I've lost like acquaintances and friends, families, but no one, that's like immediate family or my aunt or my uncle. I've been fortunate that no, I have not. So, but do we know of deaths on a daily basis? Yes. And it's just like they were so young. They were, they were just so many, and it just has affected just not just the elderly. It's affected the young,
Mhm.
middle age. It's affected so many people. It's tough to hear those numbers every day, nationwide and even worldwide, how many we've lost.
Yeah, and Fred brought up opening up, and this was an issue we brought up last week when we had Tim Wilkins on, who's running for commissioner in District 1, about the balance with the pandemic and businesses and opening up. What is your feeling in terms of the city being able to have that balance, because there are small businesses that are being affected. McAllen really does have a lot of its economy based on real estate. Oh gosh, I can't. Customer service and going to the mall and things
Retail.
like that. Yeah, retail. Thank you so much. I knew it was one of those. What are your feelings on that?
My feeling is that if you really paid attention to the guidelines, I think we would have been out of this a long time ago.
But,
Mhm.
And
but the
I know
thing
it's.
is, I'm sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
The thing is that HEB, Costco, Walmart, all the national chains are still open and still taking people in. But
Correct.
it's hurting the mom and pop shops because they can remain open, but all the other stores can.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. That is correct. And the mom and pops should have the opportunity, just like HEBs and Walmarts and Costco's and Sam's, like everybody else. That is, I agree with you. All we have to do is follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your mask, hand sanitize, and each one of those mom and pop stores. And I don't think it would be difficult because those stores are so much smaller than your
Yeah.
HEBs and Costco's and Walmarts and Sam's. If they kept them clean and sanitized, I don't think that, and again, and even when you go to Walmart, I know sometimes I go to the parking lot and thought, I'm not going to get down today because
Mhm.
there's way too many cars.
Right.
You have to be cautious yourself, of course. But I will go to a small store if I need to, like the 7-Elevens or the Stripes that are around. If I don't see a car there because I just need a gallon of milk, But of course, when I walk in, I've already hand sanitized. I have the hand sanitizer in my pocket. I mean, and some of us are, over the top. Some of us are not over the top. Some of us believe that the more that you sanitize and the more you take care of yourself, it's better. Some people think, no, hombre, no me pasa nada.
Yeah.
So,
I think it also, I mean, we also can't, in my opinion too, it's like individual citizens have to take their own personal responsibility.
They do.
We can't, I understand at least that cities and counties, they have already a responsibility to get information out and try to assist, departments or whatever the county or the cities have to do. They have a certain level of, effort, responsibility, making sure that people are aware.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, come on, we
cannot hold our hands.
And also at the same time, the vaccine is coming out. I mean, aren't people already taking the vaccine? So
but even then, if you've taken
vaccine's limited though.
Not only limited, but even though with the vaccine, you're not cured when you get the second vaccine, and you're not immune when you get the second one, you still have to be very cautious. Easily up to 6 months. And at that point, it's either 90 to 95%. And you still have to be cautious of your surroundings and what you're touching, what you're not touching. And I know more than anybody else, my sons get mad at me. I mean, I open the door and oh my God, it's like, Mom,
do that.
I forgot,
Don't do that.
they're habits. There are lifetime habits. And so these are lifetime habits that we now have to break and start all over again in order to be safe, in order to social distance. I mean, automatically when I'm running on the trail, sometimes, or I'm in the street and somebody will drive up to me and I automatically go to the window. Hey, what's going on? And my son goes, Mother. It's like, oh shoot, okay, back up. Because it is something we're naturally doing. And so, I blame myself. I blame my habit. My son goes, Mother, we've been in this 8 months. I think your habit should have been dead.
Yeah.
But
No, it's difficult. It really is.
It is very, very, very difficult. And now I shop mainly local because I do understand. My family has had a local business in McAllen for many, many, many years. And so I know what it is to have a local. And I don't want our own community to walk away because we didn't support them.
Right.
Because they are our bread and butter on a daily basis. They are our sales tax. They are our neighbors. They are our friends. and they've lived here and they are our community. And so,
We're going to have I'll do one quick national politics, and we're going to talk about your district accomplishments and things like that. I have to ask this question. As the city of the mayor of McAllen, if you're elected, there's always this competition between Brownsville and McAllen. Brownsville, I feel, had like this Napoleon complex, even though they're larger than McAllen. But the city of McAllen gets a lot of focus, not from the governor, from whoever the president is. What are your feelings on how you, as mayor, can deal with the new administration, and what types of things you want to do with the federal government in order to benefit McAllen and essentially Hidalgo County?
well, the first person that you probably need to be best friends with is your congressman, because he is the one who directly goes to the Capitol. And so to surround yourself with all of your elected officials, your congressmen, and your some of those representatives who do go to the Capitol, and then surround yourself, of course, and go to the Capitol. We lobby at the Capitol. We just go visit. We make sure that we go several times during the year to the Capitol in Austin to make sure that they know, okay, I just came to say hi. If there's anything we need to talk about, and those really, I used to, when I grew up, I thought I could never talk to the congressman, or how could I ever talk to a governor? I mean, my God, who am I? And now I'm like, oh my God, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Because they're people. They are us. And so the best way to get to your capital is to be able to make friends locally, valley, state, and then go to the. But as long as you draw, you go on and build relationships with all of them, because then they will be the relationship that you have with them will help you a long way.
Yeah. As a district commissioner, I think you're District 6, if I'm not mistaken.
I am. Yes, that is
as a
correct.
District 6 commissioner, what do you think your biggest accomplishment is? And with that experience, do you think it'll benefit you being mayor? And yeah, that would be a question.
What was my biggest accomplishment? I started a program. I've started several programs, 3 programs since I've been a city commissioner. My very first program is called Run, Ride, and Share. And it's Run, Ride, and Share the Road. When I started 8 years ago, we had probably 3 or 4 fatalities of drivers that killed a cyclist. And of course, because they were not used to seeing cyclists in the valley, really. A lot of them didn't know, like, a race bike. What's a race bike? What's a mountain bike? What are you talking about? And that's probably about 10, 15 years ago. Today, I know you've seen all over this valley, there's bikes. I mean, we ride our bike literally from McAllen to Brownsville, and then we pedal to Padre. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of more activity in our community. And so that was my very first one, was Run, Ride, and Share the Road. And probably by the 3rd year, our fatalities decreased to 0, which was great. And if you come to McAllen, there's green signs, and even on our garbage trucks and everything, there's green signs that say Run, Ride, and Share. I was asked to the Texas Department of Public Safety to speak in front of, I don't know how many department heads in Austin, which to me was like, oh my God, who am I? But I did. And then I was honored in Nashville, Tennessee, by Michelle Obama Let's Move movement. And I won a state, a U.S. Recognition for my Run, Ride, and Share program. So to me, that was amazing. Since then, of course, our hike and bike trails we're now pretty much connected throughout the whole city. And we have hike and bike trails, water fountains, we have benches. I was in Austin at a UT football game one afternoon, and I was walking through one of the parks, and I noticed there was a box. And I thought, what are those? Well, they're called emergency call boxes. And so now on all of our trails, we have emergency call boxes. Doesn't matter whether you've got asthma, whether you have a flat tire, whether someone strange is following you, whether you don't feel well and you don't have your phone, your battery died, which happens.
Right.
And so all you have to do is pick up that phone on the emergency call box, and a policeman will automatically come to where you're at that point. And so those are also on our hike and bike trails, which have been amazing. We have toolkits now on our hike and bike trails to fix your bikes, because you're flat or your pedal's not tightened, whatever the case may be. So we now have toolkits on those. We have a lot more benches, a lot more shaded areas for when you're walking through the trails. We have those. So that one, of course, is one of my that hits right here.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that is one. My second one that I started a couple of years back is the abandoned homes. We had 90 something abandoned homes over 10 years just sitting in someone's neighborhood,
Wow.
which that also can be dangerous or risky. You have homeless that might live in there, and then of course, not that they're going to harm anybody, but they come out of the house and there's some kids walking down the street and they get scared, So and then they go back and they hide. There's beehives in some of those homes because no one's been into that home, and then of course,
Mm.
it's dangerous because someone next door just moves in and then they rattle the beehives. I mean, and we
Right.
had a house not too long ago infested the entire house
Wow.
with bees. So uh, getting updating our neighborhoods and getting rid of the abandoned home, either sell it, they tear it down and they can just sell the property, but so that we can revitalize the inner city of McAllen. So that's
Mhm.
another one of my programs that has become very, very successful within the city of McAllen, which I'm very, very proud of.
Mhm.
Because not only we're revitalizing and we're reunifying some of the neighborhoods because that house has been there for 30 years.
Wow.
So it's exciting just to have that happen. So that was
Yeah.
another one of my programs that has been, I believe it's been successful.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that actually what the job of a district commissioner, and that's why some cities have that. They have city commissioners that are district commissioners at large, mixed. Here in Brownsville, we have it mixed. You all only have it district commissioners. Let's ask some of these questions that are here coming up, and then we'll get into.
Okay.
Eric Cloud is the new president of NTEU, which is the union for CBP and Hidalgo Port of Entry. Have you reached out to him for an endorsement, and what other unions support you currently? Fire, police.
I have not reached out to him, no. But if he wants to visit with me, I'd be more than glad for him to give me a call and we could have discussion. I am on the Anson Lewis Bridge Board, so I am
Mhm.
familiar with what's going on with the southbound and northbound crossings and the fact that Mexico, we have not opened the bridges to Mexico at this point. So yes, it would be nice to visit with someone to so where are we going? When are we going to be able to work together again?
Mhm.
And of course, the ones that are necessities, of course, can cross. Those who are not, it's unfortunate.
They
The
can't.
one positive that I see that our bridges are closed is that, at least I know in the city of McAllen, yes, we have lost some sales tax, but we haven't lost as much as I expected to have lost because now all of our communities are actually staying in their towns and actually shopping locally and shopping within their cities. So
Mhm.
each one of our cities is continuing. Some we have lost. I'm not saying we haven't, but not nearly what I thought we were going to lose. So we're doing much better than I expected.
Yeah, it's fascinating how we always have thought that the McAllen and the Valley cannot sustain itself with sales tax dollars because we're so dependent on the Mexican tourists. But I think you're right. The sales tax dollars have not been as high. Hi, Jessica. Jessica's one of our Brownsville ISD trustees. And can you do the next one, Miss Producer? I love red. It reminds me of Christmas and love. There you go.
All right,
Robert,
thank you.
one of our
Thank
managers
you.
at the Dallas Cowboy Shop in Brownsville. Shop there, not the one in McAllen, right, Robert?
Yeah.
That's what Robert always tells me. Don't go to the one in McAllen. Next, next good comment. That
I
it?
saw one of two
Oh, long
comments.
one. Well, okay. Laredo has a delegation where the capital has Laredo Day. They rent out a huge banquet room and have a big pachanga. They invite all senators, congressmen, and throw out the red
That's
carpet,
right.
free alcohol, and lots of free Mexican dishes. Waiters go around with Patron tequila, mariachis playing, etc. The street to the Capitol in Washington have Laredo Day signs leading up to the Capitol. As a city commissioner and mayor pro tem, I was jealous and wish Brownsville would spend the money. And I'm assuming there's more to that. But I'm going to read it from my phone because it won't play it all. Charlie, you need to like shorten up
Oh
your
my
comments.
gosh,
Charlie,
Charlie.
That was
jeez,
really long, Charlie.
it's not. And he's not even done. He's not even done. There's still more. It's like
Can
as
you
Oh,
voice
I
where
it
was
I'm at.
jealous. Yeah, I was jealous. Brownsville would
Sorry,
spend
Charlie,
the
not for
money
me.
and did an event like in Washington like that. Does McAllen do something like that? Does McAllen do
We
something
do. So
similar
we
in
did it
Laredo?
in the Austin Capitol.
Mhm.
We did do
Right.
it at Austin Capitol. We do have McAllen Day, and actually the chamber fills a bus with about 40 people. Not this past one, but the past before two legislative days about 3 years
Mhm.
ago. They had two buses, and then of
Mhm.
course a lot of us drive our own cars because we spend, we stay there for the weekend or whatever. But those are very, 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 they're great
Yeah.
receptions for you to be able to visit with everybody else, have the time to communicate with everybody else, and that really it's a great opportunity again to meet your surrounding city elected officials and visit with each other and bounce ideas off of each other.
Mhm.
So I do miss them. I do. And it should have been coming up here in February, March.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's
it's not
very
going to happen.
surprising. I had no idea Laredo did that, Charlie.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
fair
they
that Laredo
do.
does that in Washington D.C., but nobody else here in the Valley does it. It's amazing. There's
Yeah,
more
we
people
haven't.
live
I don't
Yeah.
here.
think they do it in. I don't think they do it in DC. They
I don't
do
think
it
they do it in
here.
D.C. I think he's
They
just
do
so
it here at the
confused.
Capitol, and it's
Yeah.
actually a big event because they
It
go
is.
all out.
They
I've
do.
been there.
It's
I've attended
fun.
them many
Yeah.
times, but I think what people sometimes people say like, "Oh my God, they're spending money on something that could easily go to a different program or an event locally." But people need to understand that there has to be that interaction, the community engagement, and if you are unable to do that to connect the people with the people who are making those policy making decisions, then how really is the city working towards improving their community? So it's kind of essential to
Right.
have
And
those things. But
and as
Laredo
long as
talks to everybody.
Mhm.
they hear you and you're unified as the
Mhm.
RGV,
Yeah.
it's not only going to benefit McAllen, it's going to benefit all the surrounding cities. And we must stick together and we must boast about each other's cities and
Mhm.
we must have communication and conversation because that's the only way to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's another question, I think, from Jose. Do you think working with other cities to help them improve would be better for the Valley people? Places like Harlingen and San Benito are left behind.
I don't know. Sometimes I think Harlingen is ahead. I see all their airport commercials like, okay, where's our commercial? So and I think, again, if we work together, we're not working against each other because when you work against each other, you know what? You spin your wheels really in a more negative attitude. If you work alongside and together and just say, hey, you know what? You're going to put, just an example, you're going to put a Costco here, go for it. We'll take this Walmart or we need to be able to work with each other. I know that a lot of people were very disappointed when McAllen did not take Topgolf, but there's always an underlying decision why we didn't do it.
Hmm.
Some cities can afford to take on those bigger projects than some other cities because maybe we already had too many projects going on. So let them soar. You know what? If that's what everyone should have something in their city that attracts other people, everybody, or other people besides just only McAllen. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not
Yeah.
because they live here, or they're going to get gas here, or they're going to eat here, and then you drive to the beach for the day, you enjoy the day, you spend money over there, but you come back home, and that's why we need to be. Work with each other and not against each other.
Right. And those of you, again, we're here with Mayor Pro Tem and of the city of McAllen, Veronica Whitacre, who is running for city mayor there in McAllen. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment and ask them. Obviously, we're asking your questions. I'm not supposed to be looking at the questions. The only question I'm supposed to look at is whatever Miss Producer gives me. So just don't get mad at Roman. It's not my fault. Don't get mad at us, okay?
I have a
Rogelio.
question as well. Yes.
Oh, okay,
From my
Rogelio.
friend Rogelio. How are you, Rogelio? Good to see
As Mayor McAllen, what would you do to help out the veteran community in the city of McAllen? That's a very
Well,
good question.
I think in the last 8 years, the Veterans Memorial and the way that the veterans have been respected, and we have has really come a long way. The days of veterans are celebrated. We have a lot of events going on that day. So I will continue with what we already have in place. And then, of course, ask the veteran community, what are we still missing? What do we still need in order to make sure that people, because you know what, they gave for our country. They gave. My father was a veteran. And so, a piece of my father's, serving for the war. So you have to understand what they went through. And of course, they deserve just as much or more. So I will continue to do the activities that we have had in the past. And if they have suggestions for us to add something else, with all means, I would suggest it and move on.
Mhm. Next comment, or we're going to do a question from Myra. Myra, let's do your question because I know you had a question.
Well, one of my questions is, I mean, what is the biggest issue you think McAllen is facing right now? If you become mayor, which issue would you be addressing first?
There's two main issues that I will address, and the first one that I know that is on everybody's mind on a daily basis is COVID-19. We were going to be out of it in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and here we are. Almost how many 9 months later, and we're still dealing, and we have not reduced the numbers. So I think again, as a team, we need to sit down and really survey what is going on, why do they believe that we are still having these problems in the city of McAllen, in city of Edinburgh, in city, what is it? Because, and again, some of y'all live in Edinburgh, you come to McAllen, and so, we're still in the community. I think we need to come up with a stronger plan and a more positive plan and see what are the do's and don'ts of COVID-19 and fix it. Not that it's broken, but just improve it. I guess my fix it was the wrong word. Improve it and improve the plan and find out the do's and don'ts and which ones have worked and which ones have not, so that we can safely start moving back into some normalcy. I don't know that we'll ever be back 100%, but even 40 or 50% of some normalcy would really be a welcome for our community. The next thing that is going to happen right after the mayoral race is the budget, is the city budget. They start working on it in April, May, and we have to present it at the end of August, and it's approved by September. Due to the pandemic, like most of have said, we've lost monies, we've lost revenues, sales tax and everything else. And so then we have to then come up with a budget that's going to be able to accommodate all of the needs that we still have within the city. And so that would be one of my main focus, is to be able to still thrive while still being fiscally responsible for our city with the budget.
Mari, you can ask that question. You have one? You
No.
don't have one? Wow,
don't have one
you're
right now.
speechless. I didn't know that was possible, Mari. It's okay.
Well, there's a lot. I'm looking at the questions that are put out there. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to answer all of that too.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go to those. We can go to
chime
comments.
in anytime you want to, Marty.
In
yeah.
that budget, do you see anything in improving our outspace, like our running trails, adding more to it, creating other activities that, areas where we can run and bike and...
Well, we should, and funny you say that, because I want to be able to start at my house and run or bike all around completely the whole city and make a circle instead of going, because I live on the south side of McAllen. I go to Second, I go all the way to Hobbs, and I turn around. I thought, get triste, I have the same scenic. I want new scenery, And so if we could connect, eventually I think we will. It's slowly coming. And I know that from San Juan all the way to Down Ridge Road, and some of the trail goes through San Juan and far, and then goes through Ridge and is going to connect to Second. And then again, it's going to go to Hobbs. And then there's going to be an area between Hobbs and Canton that there's no connection, but it's just yay big. Yeah. So we can kind of get across the street properly. Then you go down Canton and then go down Jackson all the way to UTRGV.
Yeah, so that would be a really nice trail.
Yeah, because I like running from Old 83 all the way to past the country club, because I like going over the overpass. It's
I know, because that's our only hill. It's our only hill. It's our only hill.
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like the only person here on this show that's anti-trail and anti-bike kind of thing.
And where do you start, Myra?
I usually start from Business 83 on 2nd Street and then go past the country club.
Oh, okay. I've never seen. I'm gonna start looking for you on the trail.
It's
you can't miss me. You can't miss me.
It's equivalent. It's a little bit over a 5K, so that's why I do it there.
Right. See, and I usually do from my house. I go to Second, and I'll go all the way to La Vista and back, and that's almost 4 miles.
Wow.
So
that is a lot.
And then if I cycle, I'll go all the way to Edinburgh. and come back.
Yeah, I
So-
wanted
That sounds exhausting. Miss Producer is saying just look for Myra's shirt. They stand out. LOL. That's what Miss Producer
Yeah,
said.
I need your political stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Otherwise,
Let's
but
do
I
the.
carry a knife with me just in case.
well, I'll see you on 2nd Street someday.
Hey, Veronica Deaton has a question. Hello, everyone. Miss Whitaker, great to see you are available to speak about the challenges in your community and what you bring to the table. I was just in the McAllen area, and it is impressive how projects are constant throughout the city. Brownsville may be wise to take note. Are there any exciting projects that you're looking at, and
Our
to
Quinta
piggyback on?
Mazatlan. Our Quinta Mazatlan is a huge project.
Mhm.
Our Quinta Mazatlan, I don't know if any of y'all ever been there. It's beautiful.
I've never
And,
been there.
Oh, is that Myra?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
need,
it's
you need to run through Quinta Mazatlan. Park your car and run.
Beautiful.
I don't even know
My
where
friend
it
got
is, to
married
be
there.
honest.
But we're gonna. They want to. They're adding a lot to Quinta Mazatlan. We've got labs. We've got walking trails, the birds, nature. They're going to add so much to our Quinta Mazatlan. It's in the millions what they're going to add to it,
Mhm.
and so that's going to be one of the projects that we are probably going to boast the most about.
Mhm.
The most.
Right.
I would also like to revitalize the McAllen Nature Center. It's a hidden secret, and we need to start paying attention to the McAllen Nature Center and revitalize that and bring it
I
back
used
to
to love that.
fruition. Yeah,
Mhm.
When I
exactly.
was little,
Because it's
that was the best
just,
part.
yeah, it's a beautiful park.
The little
And we need
pond.
to take, we need, I'm not going to tell my secrets, but that's one of my plans. And of course, right now, outdoors is where you need to be anyway. So, the museum has grown since I was on the board. The museum has done an amazing job in growing, and they purchased a building so that hopefully that they can connect to have a children's museum. That would be so awesome. Just a children's museum next to the
I was,
museum would be great.
I was
Uh,
kind of disappointed when they moved Oktoberfest from there. Because
yeah.
it used to be there. I was very
Well,
disappointed
because
that
you
the Rotary
boast
could have
about
moved
your
it.
place, you boast about the museum. People get to go in there, they get to see, and that's
Mhm.
what I try to let people know. Also, if you're going to have an event, have it somewhere that you need to boast about what we have here in the city of McAllen.
They
So,
moved it to the Park Convention Center, where it's really
yeah.
kind of blah. Not like the
I like that. That's a good reaction. That's a great reaction. Guys, we're going to do rapid fire in a minute or two. So if you have any rapid fire questions for Mayor Pro Tem Veronica Whitacre, that'd be great. And by the way, tomorrow will be the first show at 8 o'clock here on Real Politics. I'm now going to call it a network because it's a network. And Marty and Myra are going to be doing their first show together. I have no idea what to expect. I work on Wednesday
Way to
nights,
go,
so I'm not going
girls.
to see it. Yeah.
It's a
Well,
busy day tomorrow, so we'll
yeah.
have plenty of time to talk to.
Yeah, so those two will go crazy on the show. I don't know how long they're going to go, so make sure you watch. And please, again, reminder: please share the feed. Please share our page, and even after the show, please make sure you share all the videos that we have because we have so many good candidates throughout the valley that have been joining us. And if you know a candidate or office holder that's running in May, let them know about our page and make sure they message our page. And Miss Producer, I know we are really scheduled with so many people from McAllen and McAllen ISD, and so if you can help us spread the word, it helps them, and that way they don't have to knock on your door. We don't want them knocking on your door during a pandemic, so it's like that's with me. So make sure you have your rapid fire questions. Is there a question on there, Miss Producer? If not, I'm gonna ask her a question.
Question, comment.
Okay, there is no question or comment. Got you. Okay, good job. My question is about the budget. I'm rolling a budget wonk. Sort of the budget at the city of McAllen. How large is it? What are your feelings on the effective tax rate versus? Well, it's now a new word. I don't even know what it is anymore. Versus rollback rate. Has the 3% thing that the state legislature done affected the city? And what type of things did you feel you have to cut in order to be under the 3%, or do you have a problem? I know it's a long, complicated, drawn-out question. Do you have any issues with going over the 3% if you need to when it comes to the new tax rate? I know you just did tax rate in October, but you may be a problematic in coming up in September.
And actually, we lowered our tax rate.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we lowered our tax rate, so that was like okay. We were able to. I will say that our city manager is very, very fiscally responsible. He's very much so to the budget, to the dime, to the penny. And then, of course, I sit next to him. I said, why are we spending so much? What are we doing? No, split it, do this. I've had to revitalize 2 nonprofits where they were zero budget. And so I know what it's like to come from 0 to 100. And basically what you have to do is streamline, cut, reconfigure your budget. Sometimes we put monies, safety monies, more monies than that's allowed in that area or one of the areas. And so you can reallocate, you can amend those monies in order to be able to keep your budget going throughout the whole year. Don't just leave your fundings, without using them for the year. Go ahead and amend and move them so that your budget works for all your departments throughout the year. So it is important. And the most important is at the end of your month, make sure that you've gone through it. Okay, how much did we spend? How much more did we spend from the month before? Okay, so if I know that I've spent, 10% more than I was supposed to, what can I do in order to stay within what I've budgeted for this exact month? Where can I take monies from? Where can I put monies? And so you've always got to be working with your budget in order to make sure that you come out even at the end. And sometimes, of course, you always want to profit. You always want to profit. And you have to also find out where your profits are and how you can keep those going. So, that is, your budget is the most important part of your piece for all of your city entities. It really is.
And I'll ask Charles asking, if you have taken the vaccine, you should be given a barcode. So when you enter a building or store, you can scan it and it shows green, meaning you're vaccinated, cleared to go in. Without that, that's what New York is going to do. No, I think I will let the mayor.
Roman, let's just
First and foremost, just because you got the vaccine, you still need your second vaccine.
Right.
Okay. And you're still not even, and you're only going to, depending on whether you do Pfizer or you do Moderna, you're going to be 90 to 95%. None of us are going to be even 100% safe, even with the vaccine. That's the most important part of the whole situation. The next thing is even though you've had it, you still have to stay safe 2 or 3 months beyond your vaccination. So no, keep your masks on, please.
Well, I'm more against the I'm against the barcode thing. I'm like, I had no idea it was cattle, Charlie. Like, come on.
And then we're not sure whether your antibodies are somewhere. Your antibodies, sometimes could prevent you even if you did take the vaccine. So these are all trials. They're trials and tribulations because we're all receiving it for the first time. So how do we know what's going to happen, what's not going to happen? Keep your mask on.
Yeah. And I know I asked you over the phone when we were scheduling it, and I want to ask you here because I told you I was going to ask you. Would you be willing to come back on at some point? We're not leaving. Sure. We're not done yet. In order to do it, maybe a potential debate. I know Commissioner Villalobos did agree to it, so hopefully you will too. So I would love to do that to help everybody out there in McAllen. We have the capabilities to do it here on Real Politics, and I want to do that for both any of the races in McAllen and anywhere throughout. So you're good? You're good to come back? Awesome. Great job. Guys, let's do some rapid fire questions if that's okay. Wait, he wants to, yeah. Hey, Mia Renee Diaz. Hi, all. I'm just curious to know what the Pro Tem Whitacre's thoughts are about Brownsville's non-discrimination ordinance and if there are plans for one to be passed in McAllen.
Okay, so what exactly is your non-discrimination ordinance? What are you discriminating against?
Well, see, I'm not a huge.
Don't we already have like equal? What's it called? The EOC.
Yeah.
I mean, equal employment opportunity, and then there's ADA. I mean, is this more of a specific question?
This is the I think what she's referencing is the city of Brownsville has a very vibrant, progressive, and again, I'm a conservative, so progressive, liberal, LGBTQ population that has created a task force, and they do Drag Queen Story Hour, which I'm very much against. That's me, my personal. I'm not putting that in your column, Miss Mayor Pro Tem. And so now this task force has set apart. They want to do some sort of non-discrimination ordinance put that into law that you're not going to discriminate against a certain section of the population, which I think is overkill. That's my personal opinion. Where for some reason, progressive liberals really want to make Brownsville into Austin, which it's not. It shouldn't be. But that's what they want, and more power to them. And so I guess that's what I think she's referencing. And that's something that they do, that you're thinking about doing in McAllen to mimic Austin, and I guess essentially Brownsville.
Well, I can't imagine that anybody would discriminate, and I know it happens. It happens every day. It doesn't even have to be whether you're LGBT or, I mean, and I can give you a perfect example. My husband, of course, is white, and so I have a white last name. Well, that doesn't mean anything, because now I do hear sometimes, "Oh my God, Mexicans." I was like, honey, I'm as Mexican as
You're a fella.
yeah,
Like, they don't know.
Exactly. So it's very difficult. I mean, I think we just need to accept, no matter who you are or what you are, you just accept them, because every single person has a personality, has an idea, and has a passion, and has a brain.
Right.
And everybody works in a different way. And so that's what makes our whole world unique, and what makes it exciting, because I didn't know you, Roman. And so now I say, okay, you know what? He was so cool. He did this, he did that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, except what God put on this earth.
Right.
And so we just have to learn that they're now, it's out there more. I'm not going to say it's not. So what? So what? They're still people.
Yeah, I want you to. I mean, I don't like it. It's one of the reasons why I'm considering just leaving Brownsville. I just think it's gotten too liberal in that sense, because and why this particular commission came about. We discussed a little bit, and we will continue this discussion on Thursday, because we'll have former Brownsville City Commissioner Edward C. Camarillo. He served on the commission with Charlie. As surprising it is, Charlie was on the commission here in Brownsville, and I love him anyway. That's how we met. So we'll have Edward Camarillo on Thursday at 8 p.m. I feel like I'm plugging all these shows, but I need to do that, because if I don't do that, then I get in trouble. Producer beats me up at home.
It's your job.
So let's do some rapid fire questions, guys, if that's okay. Some of the questions, and feel free to chime in the comments, and that way she can have fun. Yes, you are.
Yeah, it's been stressful.
Okay, good. Here's some rapid fire questions. Your favorite local restaurant in McAllen that you just love?
My favorite, Birdie's Bistro.
Oh.
I haven't tried that one.
I've been there. It's nice.
It's nice. It's a vintage chicken.
Yeah.
They've got a new menu. You feel like you're somewhere else. It's just a quaint little small, and you can eat outside, upstairs, or even inside. Yeah. So yes, it's Birdie's Bistro. It's on Main.
Okay,
That's
and by the way,
favorite.
the person that's commenting is Cruz, but just so you know, Cruz is showing up as Hidalgo County 39 up here, but on your comments it's showing up as Real Politics. So make sure you're not commenting as Real Politics. They're going to confuse you for Miss Producer. What is your favorite chain restaurant there in McAllen?
Oh, my favorite chain restaurant. I don't go to too many.
It is you. Okay.
Hi.
You don't have one. It's okay.
Not Stripes. Not the Q Taco.
The
Okay,
Q Taco from Laredo. Yeah.
Oh gosh, Laredo. Okay, I have to ask this question. I'm asking this of every single person that comes on. I forgot to ask it of Martin, but I make sure I'll ask him that question. We have this obnoxious Texas Monthly taco editor who seems to think that Dallas tacos are better somehow than RGV tacos, and so I want some sort of a border wall north of the border, so he can't come into the RGV at all to ever try our border. What are your thoughts on RGV tacos being subpar to Dallas tacos?
Have you ever had a Mrs. G's tacos?
I think yeah.
Breakfast one.
They're
I like her.
the original El Pato.
Yeah,
Okay.
Really?
she's the
Yes.
original. Yeah, she's the one
She's
that
the
sold.
original.
She took a while to open it. After the contract, she opened Mrs. G's.
That's
I like
exactly.
that wheat tortilla she has.
Oh yeah. So Mrs. G. So I think even when you go, even when you go to Laredo or you even go to Brownsville, the food is different. Like it's not, and no matter, it doesn't matter. Even if they're, they're just different. And actually, when I go eat in Brownsville, I eat at the hamburger. What's it called? It's been there forever. It's like
Rutledge. You like
no,
Rutledge downtown?
No. The
Ernie's on Southmount. That's the one I go to.
No. I don't know if it's a hamburger place, but it's been there forever. It's good to eat.
Vermilion.
Vermilion.
Oh, I
thank you.
love
Vermilion.
that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Well, if you're
Oh,
going there,
so good.
yeah, you got to do the fajita nachos.
The
Yeah.
nachos. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Vermilion.
so
Yeah.
Vermilion. It's been there forever. But yeah, no, they're the best tacos. I'm sorry, they're in the Rio Grande Valley, but I think they're just right here in the city of McAllen.
Okay, there you go. All right, I have to completely disagree, but it's okay. It's okay. We can disagree as long as it's the Valley. I don't care. It's not Dallas Taco. Dallas Tacos suck.
No,
And
Money-
imagine a taco challenge, inviting all cities.
Coco's is good. Palenque Grill is good. They are.
Okay, so you got to choose one or the other. This is the order thing.
I don't know.
It's
I'll
hard.
just eat at home.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. Some of these are meant to get you in trouble because when you go ask them to put a sign, they're like, "No, you said they were better. You're not gonna put a sign up here."
I'm having an event at Coco's, and I am having one at Palenque, and I'm having one. I'm only doing all my events are going to be local.
Okay, that's
Let
smart.
me ask you one on the music. The Doors or the Beatles?
The Beatles. I want to hold your hand.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay, Krispy Kreme. I know that's in McAllen far, but I gotta say it. Krispy Kreme or Shipley's.
Shipley's, baby.
Yeah, there you go. All right. What's your favorite donut at Shipley's?
Hi. Just the regular glazed donut, but it has to be calientito. Right when it
They
comes
have
out.
to be warm, freshly
Yes,
out.
it does. Yes.
Before we go on, I need to tell Eric. I like your avatar, Eric.
Okay. He's asking the right Twix or left Twix. This is a good question. I love these
I'm
questions.
not a Twix person.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no,
Okay.
sorry. Give me a Hershey bar with almonds.
Oh, there you
Malted
go.
Milk balls.
There you go. Okay,
Malted
peanut.
milk balls.
Yeah, M&Ms, plain M&Ms or peanut M&Ms?
Peanut.
Yeah, me too. Which one's your favorite color though? Does that matter?
It doesn't matter.
Matter, okay.
IHOP or Denny's, they're both good.
Oh,
But I
I
haven't
hope
been to either one of them in over 9 months, so I don't know if they've changed or not.
That's true. We always ask. Okay. Oh, your favorite car. If you don't have the car you have right now, what's your favorite car you would want to buy and
Well,
drive?
you're gonna die laughing. I have had 6 Volvos.
Wow, those are actually good cars. I had a friend of mine who actually had. So that's your vehicle of choice.
And I'm not driving one right now, but I'm okay. I've had 6.
Okay.
So I love those. And I remember when they had it like the station wagon. Oh,
yeah.
you kind of look like the hearse by my face.
Any guys? Madi, you have one? No.
Well, I was gonna say rap because I like to listen to rap sometimes. So Tupac or Notorious, B.I.G.
Yeah.
Or
This is.
Collier?
Do you have a choice? That she probably doesn't have.
No.
Okay, Charlie had put on the same comment. No, she doesn't. Charlie, like we're doing rapid fire.
No, Charlie.
Everyone.
honey.
Yeah, Miss Producer is like,
George Strait.
don't even. Okay, let's do the thing in a bit. We'll do that.
George Strait.
Okay. No, she's asking. What's your question? The question is George Strait or Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks.
Mm.
She's the first one that says Garth Brooks.
That is true. You're the first one. You're the first one. It's okay. It's okay. He's playing at the inauguration. He's making a lot of conservatives mad for doing that. There you go. Why is it that plain M&Ms are awesome and peanut M&Ms are so plain? Wait, no, that is not true.
I like M&Ms better than peanut M&Ms.
Really? I can't believe. I'm shocked. You're gonna lose some votes there.
Team George.
Yes, there you go.
It's over.
You lost her vote, and the only one who can vote here for you is Myra,
It's
not
Myra.
me. So it's Myra. So just talk to her.
I take it back.
Okay, what's your favorite Garth Brooks song then? Since you like Garth Brooks so
I'd
much.
have to hear a few before I can. I'd have to listen to a few to remind me.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
can tell you my Garth Brooks favorite song.
Which one?
What is it?
Shameless.
Shameless.
Really, that's your favorite?
Shameless.
Yeah. Mine is Unanswered Prayers. I don't know why.
Mine
My
is
wife is
the
gonna.
hard luck woman.
Oh, that one's a good one.
It's a good
That
one.
one is a good one. Okay,
I
sorry.
like that one.
It's okay, no worries. Fred. Oh, well, no, not Fred is commenting right now. Fred can vote. Yes, I know you all can vote, but it's one's here asking questions here on. Fred asked that question or made that comment. All right. Okay, let's answer the Charlie. Let's end rapid fire questions now, and let's. Yeah, no, I don't. I just always liked that song, and that's what I knew that song was gonna get me in trouble with my wife. Good thing my wife doesn't always watch the show. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on,
just like that
first,
song.
let me just answer Charlie. First of all, Charlie, I was unaware that they did have a meeting in DC. I go, but it's very important to know the reason why they were there. And as leaders, they knew what they needed to do to get things done for their community. So they did what they had to do. I don't understand what your question is. I mean, run for city commission, and then you can have all the capital days you want.
Yeah, I just think it's weird that they would have that over in Washington
I mean,
D.C.
it
to
is
do that.
weird. They had about, I mean, I was reading an article, 30 people at a meeting, but I mean, it was put together by the congressman, and it seems like they're going to have a hangar in Laredo that's going to be for Homeland Security and a maritime, hangar, I believe. So it's for the big major development, and I think that's very important to know that Laredo is just as important as any border community. And if they're going out there and needing to have these meetings, then they did what was essential, and I'm certain that they had protocols.
All right.
I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know.
Rogelio.
Yeah, and that's a good one. Garth Brooks' song is between friends in low places and the dance. Oh wow,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
there you go. Yeah, and since I do teach history, Laredo got their railroad before Brownsville ever did. 20 years, actually. I think it was 1884 is when Laredo got their first railroad, and Brownsville got theirs in like 1906. 1904. I mean, it's embarrassing. And this has always been a problem with the Rio Grande Valley, is that the valley gets shortchanged, and whether it's been with the I-69 taking forever to get here, for us having an interstate, for us being left alone, or whether, again, the railroad happening 20 years apart at the turn of the century, turn of the 20th century.
Mhm.
So
Roman,
yeah.
do you remember Mr. Bastedo?
Yes. Yeah, I never met him though, but I think if there's a couple of Mr. Bitters. There was one, the one that was I think he taught
Superintendent.
Superintendent. Yeah, superintendent.
He
He had a
loved
brother.
trains. He loved trains.
Yeah.
And so all the railroads and stuff in Brownsville, I mean, that was his passion.
Yeah. And
Can
so
you believe my first train usage was not even in the United States?
really, where was it?
Yeah, in Morocco. I mean, he
Morocco.
wasn't even
The heck
here.
were you doing in Morocco?
I was studying cultural
Oh.
immersion program over there, but
Oh.
my first experience in a train wasn't even in the States.
Wow.
So trains,
My-
yeah, they are important, crucial.
Yeah.
But
My first train actually was from Nueva Laredo to Mexico City
mhm.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
a few years back.
It's okay. No worries. We don't have to go.
I mean,
We don't go there.
I've been on an Amtrak, as a showcase when they were out there. When I worked in Austin, I was able to see what one of their cabins looked like. I've been meaning to put it on my list as a travel, fun, but unfortunately, doesn't lend itself to that right now. So we'll see when we get back to doing that.
And we'll get to Ms. Producer's last question, and then we'll do the final question, which we always ask. And is there any plans on the airport placing more COVID regulations on passengers, such as providing test results prior to check-in?
Some of the other airports, I understand, are doing that they have to have a COVID test 2 or 3 days prior with an answer before they can get, I have not flown since COVID started, and apparently what I hear all of the time is that the airplanes actually are safer than anything else, because I think they have a seat in between, and then if you have 2 seats here, then you have 1 seat here and that here, and I have heard that is, but I heard that they are not really doing that. So I think it is important in order for safety. I think that they should, if they're going to travel, that they should maybe have a test, because again, if we don't start to take more precautions, we're never going to get ahead and get out of this.
I've been flying since everything started. I've actually been traveling more than ever in my life. In May, when I traveled, it was a plane full of people. You had to wear the mask to get in the plane, and then you could take it off. So basically, we were all without masks in May. July, on my way to DC, I didn't have to wear a mask. On my way back, I did, but all the seats were full. And I've been October, November, and my last flights in December to DC also, you had to wear a mask, but the seats were all full. There was no space in between or anything.
Wow. See,
Is what airline, but yeah, I mean, there was, and I know that they had said that you had to take a COVID test into flying into Baltimore, when we flew to Baltimore, but nobody checked, nobody needed it. I didn't take it. I just taken one COVID test, and it was only to be able to attend my family's Thanksgiving dinner. If not, I was going to be shut out.
You see, they were smart. They kept you out.
I just come back from the Million-Man March from DC.
Oh, wow.
They're like, no, you can't unless you take a COVID test. I was like, oh.
The final question I always ask is there any topic we didn't talk about yet that you'd like to address now, and then we'll finish it up there? Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you feel passionately about that you'd like to talk about?
We did a really good job of having conversation this evening, and I do want to thank you. It was a pleasure being on your show this evening. Open conversation and the way that we were talking and visiting with each other and everything else was wonderful. I can't think there's so much we could continue to talk about. So,
and this is just an opening salvo anyway. This is like I told you last week, and I've told every candidate I've reached out to, Miss Producers reached out to, is we want to help candidates get their message out to the voters. Doesn't matter how many people see the live. I'd like as many people to see the live. It's more you spreading your message. Say, hey, look, this is a nonpartisan, unbiased. That we had a conversation. Watch it, and it helps us. I think the more people that can do this, I would appreciate it, not because it helped me or Madi or Myra or Charlie, who's also co-host. By the way, Charlie has his show at 9:00 on Friday. You see, I could do this stuff. And he's going to have former Texas Secretary of State Carlos Gascos on, and one of the owners, I guess the owner of Ticket Zone there in McAllen, who's going to be one of his guests at 9:00 on Friday night. Okay. And so, that's what we're trying to do here at Real Politics. It's going to be great. Miss Producer is making. Okay, so Miss Producer, it means you need to come back. That meaning, so we have more. Okay, great.
And the one thing if we're going to talk about politics or talk about, what we were missing, I've been on the commission for 8 years. I'm the longest standing commissioner there. I've been involved in my city for the last 30-something plus years. I know my city well. I know my community very well. And I would love the opportunity to be able to lead in my city. It would make me so proud. And I want to do it for my sons more than anything else, that no matter what challenges you have in your life, no matter what blocks are put in front of you, you can always beat it. And that's because you have to believe in yourself and believe in what you want.
Yeah, that's always a good message. And I wish you the best luck. We will have you on soon, hopefully. And then definitely in April, if we can get every candidate to agree to want to do a debate, we'll definitely schedule that in April and help each and every one of you get your message out. Tonight, we'll be doing a late show at 10:30, I believe. I may or may not be there on time, so be nice. Depends on, so I'm assuming Charlie will be there. So the girls will be there and they can have fun with Charlie when I'm not there. So there is a crime that takes place. I had nothing to do with it. Okay. Wink. I'm just kidding now. So thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Veronica Whitacre. I appreciate you coming. We look forward to seeing you soon.
It's my pleasure to be with y'all here this evening. It really, really was. It was very nice. It was very relaxing, and it was a wonderful conversation. And I thank you for the invite.
Don't leave after the credits, please. We like to stay on, so don't go away yet if it's okay. Guys, we'll see you all tonight at 10:30. And if you can't make it for 10:30 tonight for our Real Talk Real Late show, we'll see you tomorrow for the premiere episode of Madi and Myra's show. I don't even know the name of it yet. I think
M&M's.
M&M. Oh, there you go. M&M. There you go. Are we going to go peanut M&Ms or plain M&Ms? Okay, there you go. So that's tomorrow at 8:00. The only show of its kind in the Valley with women leading the show. So you will not. Yay. So congratulations, guys. We'll see you all tonight at 10:30 or tomorrow at 8. God bless. Bye.
Bye. Bye.